Hello and welcome to this yoga practice. Let's start in Sukhasana, easy cross-legged position. If it's not available for you today, take your legs out in front. Ground both sitting bones. Visualize that line from the tailbone right up to the crown of the head, sitting up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders, but allow your chest to be open, your heart space open and bright. Close down your eyes for a moment. Let the body settle in this pose. Relaxing your legs, your arms, your face. Unclench your teeth. Let the shoulders soften. Take your attention to that line from tailbone to crown of the head. Visualize a passage of energy from one point to the other. And as you inhale, follow the energy upward from tailbone to crown. And exhale, follow the energy downward from crown to tailbone. Prana, life force energy. A yoga practice encourages life force energy to flow throughout our whole body. And you feel vibrant, rejuvenated. And gently open the eyes. Let's take the arms out to the side. Movement coordinated with your breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bow the head round the back. Inhale, lift up tall. And exhale, release your arms wide. Full, even breaths. One more. Really tune into your own breath rhythm. Exhale, release your arms wide. Let's take our hands back to our knees or our lap with palms turned open. And with your inhalation, pull the shoulders up to the ears, and with your exhalation, sigh release through the mouth. Twice more. Releasing any tension or tightness. So let's come to hands and knees with your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers, Mahjuri or cat pose. Starting with cow pose, inhale, tilt the tailbone up, concave the back, gently lift your chin to gaze upwards, opening your throat center. And with your exhalation, tuck the tailbone under and gently pull the navel up to the spine. Bow the head, press into your hands. Inhale, cow pose, concaving the back. And exhale, cat pose, arching the back. So moving in your own breath rhythm. Flexion of the spine, a great warm-up pose. By connecting movement with breath, we bring our attention to the present moment. Keep breathing in and out through your nostrils, full, smooth, even breaths. And with your next exhalation, let's come back to neutral spine. So let's rock forwards and backwards, synchronizing movement with breath. So inhaling forwards and exhaling backwards. Great for the wrists. And let's get our arms into the motion now. So let's drag the right hand along the mat and inhale up and over. Exhale. Inhale up and over. Maintain full range of movement, your arm joint, preventing calcification of the shoulder joint. One more, inhale up and over, exhale, returning the hand to the mat, inhaling forwards and exhaling backwards. So the breath instruction just to guide. So let's bring the left arm into the motion now, dragging the hand along the mat. Inhale up and over, exhale, pulling back. In your own breath rhythm, circling the arm. It's like you're swimming, moving through water. One more. Exhale, returning the hand to the mat. So let's circle the torso, inhaling up one side and exhale down the other side. Free up your arms and your hips, releasing any tension or tightness in the body. Letting your torso be free, create the opening in space. And let's circle back in the opposite direction, inhaling up the left side and exhale down the right side. No wrong or right, just feeling into the body. Mobilising the hips and wrists. And coming back to center. Let's sink back to Child's Pose for a moment. Turning your palms open and close, gently rotating your wrists. And let's lift up so that we're in Vajrasana on your heels. If that's uncomfortable, rise up onto your knees. With your inhalation, let's take the arms up high, pointing the fingertips up to the sky. Being aware of the line from tailbone to fingertips. And let's separate the palms and bow forward, lifting the buttocks. So come into Heart Pose, perhaps resting the forehead to the mat. Letting the heart sink towards the floor. Feel the length along your arms and your back. This is a great alternative posture for downward facing dog. So later on in the practice, if you find downward facing dog a little strong on your back, your wrists, your hamstrings, feel free to take this pose. So let's walk the hands back a little so that our forearms make contact with the mat. Still shoulder width apart, and turn your palms down with your fingers spread. Keep your sitting bones spread like you did with the previous pose and cow pose. And let's lift up into Dolphin Pose. So it's quite early on in the class, so feel free to keep your legs bent and maintain that nice length along your spine. We can start to explore how your legs are feeling by gently lowering one heel at a time. Warming up your leg muscles, staying strong and grounded through your forearms and fingers, noticing the stretch at your shoulders. If you have any shoulder injuries, it's not recommended to do this pose. Gently lower to your knees. So let's lower the heels down. The legs may still be bent, or you can start to straighten them a little bit. But going easy, keep tuning into your body. Your body will warm up throughout the class, so don't feel you have to do the full expression of this pose right now. And let's lower to the knees, keeping the elbows on the floor. Let's interlace the fingers above the head, lower the forehead to the mat. You feel a nice shoulder stretch here as well. Taking your attention to the parts of the body that feel the opening and lengthening in your practice. Where the mind and breath go, energy flows. So we send our loving attention to those parts of our body, and you can imagine that you're breathing in and out from those parts. So let's gently release, lifting up onto our knees, and let's step the right foot forward for a low lunge, sliding left knee back, taking right hand to right knee, a side opening with hip flexor stretch. Inhale, taking left arm up, lengthen up through your spine, and exhale, side bend towards the right. Pausing here for a few breaths. Let your hips, your tailbone sink down towards the floor. Inhale, come up and taking the hands to your heart into prayer. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, using that as leverage as you twist round to the right, creating the opening between and below the shoulder blades. Find your drishti, your gaze point, keeping your eyes fixed on an unmoving object in each pose. Exhale, release. Press into your foot and let's rise back to our knees. Taking the left foot forward, perhaps sliding the right knee back for a greater hip flexor stretch. Left hand to knee this time. Inhale, taking your right arm up, long through the spine. Exhale, side bend to the left. Where are you feeling the opening, the lengthening? Practice taking your attention to those parts of the body. Practice breathing in and out from those parts of the body. Replenishing the area with fresh oxygen, prana. Flushing away toxins and impurities. Any stress or emotions that are stored in that part of the body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, the hands at the heart. Inhale, bow forward, lengthening the spine. Exhale, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left knee as you twist round. Breath instruction, just a guide. As you practice yoga more and more, you'll find that the breath comes intuitively. Generally speaking, we open with the inhalation and close with the exhalation. Generally, we lengthen our spine with the inhalation and twist with the exhalation. There's no wrong and right. Just tune into the breath, enjoy your body, your breath, and the present moment. So let's release. Pressing into the foot, let's come back up onto our knees and take a balanced pose. So taking your hands out in front onto the balls of the feet, your thighs together, but allow some movement to adjust to your balance. Find a focus point, and when you're ready, take your hands to your heart, lifting your spine nice and tall. And from here, let's come up to standing. So reaching your arms up, come up onto your toes, stay balanced and long through the body, and with your exhalation, release your arms wide. So let's take our position at the top of the mat in Mountain Pose, Tadasana. Flare out your toes, bring the big toes together and the heels slightly apart. Feel the four corners of each foot grounded into the earth. Feel the energy move up your legs, the tailbone just down and under a little bit, finding that neutrality at your pelvic bowl. Feel the length from tailbone to crown of the head. Perhaps roll the shoulders up and down your back, opening your heart space. Gently pull the chin back so the back of the neck is in line with your spine and you're pulling up through the crown of the head. In a lot of our daily activities, our chin juts forward, and driving, using the computer. So in our yoga practice, the heart leads the way. So let the head pull back a little and align it with your spine. Inhale, let's take the arms up. And exhale, let's hinge from the hips. Feel free to bend the knees as you go, laying the belly onto the thigh. Uttanasana. Inhale, straight legs, long spine. Take your hands to the shins or perhaps to the floor if you can keep the legs and spine long in this pose. And let's take the right leg back to the lunge. Gently pressing back through the heel. Be on your fingertips. Relax your shoulders back, away from the ears, perhaps gazing forward, opening your heart space. Let's step back to plank pose or high push-up position. If you need more support, lower to the knees for supported plank. Engaging your core, your abdominal muscles here. With your exhalation, let's move the body forward and lower in one piece, or knees, chest, chin, lowering with control. Uncurl your toes. Inhale, Cobra. Gently curling the upper back, the elbows slightly bent and hugged in by the side. Curl your toes under and press up and back to downward facing dog, an inverted V shape. If your body's more like a U, then keep your knees bent. Make the priority a long spine rather than straight legs. And as you warm up, as the body releases, you'll be able to straighten the legs and lower the heels towards the mat. But don't hurry the body, it will release in its own time. Make the priority length along your spine. Pressing down through the thumb, index finger and middle finger. Spreading the weight across the whole hand. Gently pressing the chest back, pulling the outer shoulders down. So let's bend the knees and look between the hands, either step or walk up to the top, right foot through. Inhale, look forward, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, folding in and letting go. Grounding to your feet, let's rise to standing. Lift out from your hips and press your hips forward for a back bend. And exhale, lower your hands to your heart. Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, swan dive, hinge from your hips. Feel free to bend the knees as you go. Inhale, look forward, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, left leg back to the lunge. Pausing here for a few breaths. Onto the fingertips, heart space open. Gently relaxing, the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing back through the heel, lifting the knee. Let's step back to plank pose or high push-up position. With your exhalation, lowering with control, keeping the elbows hugged in, uncurl your toes. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Noticing your breath deepen as you practice Surya Namaskar A, salute to the sun. It's like the body's experiencing sun rays, warming, energizing, feeling brighter. Bend the knees and look between the hands, either step or walk to the top, left foot through. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, folding in and releasing. Let's rise, taking your time if your body needs to adjust. Lift out from your hips and press your hips forward. And exhale, hands at your heart. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees. Like you're about to sit back on a chair. Letting your hips sink back and your arms reach up so you're pulling in opposite directions but maintain neutral spine. Feel the length along your spine. And let's fold forward, bringing the hands through the middle. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana, long spine. Exhale, let's step the right leg back. Then the left to plank pose. Inhale at the top. Exhale, move the body forward and lower. Low plank is the option here, Chaturanga Dandasana or to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog or Cobra. Upward facing dog, the hips are off the mat now. Pressing the chest through the arms. Pull the shoulders back. Roll into the toes, downward facing dog. So let's ground the left foot at a 60-degree angle and bring your right foot through for warrior one. Check that your hips are square to the short end of the mat. When you're ready, let's take the arms up for Warrior One. Right knee bent. If you feel balanced, bring your hands together and gaze up at your hands. The body working as one. From here, let's spin and ground the left foot, turning our hips to the wide end of the mat, perhaps walking the back leg out. Warrior Two, right knee bent. Gaze out over your right fingertips. If you find that your knee is past your toes, you can take a wider stance. The tailbone gently down and under, belly gently pulled back and up towards the spine. Gently is the key word in our yoga practice. Finding the balance between effort and effortlessness. So let's straighten the right leg. With your next inhalation, reach through your right arm. Exhale, take the left hand into the sky. Spin open your chest. Trikonasana. Arms in line. Perhaps turning to look up at the hand, if that's okay for your neck. Or it may be more comfortable to look down at your right foot. This is an enlivening pose, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Both legs straight in this pose. Enjoy the stimulated meridians that run along the legs. If you need to, slide your right hand further up your leg. So let's circle the left hand down, spin onto your back foot, and lower your left knee into a low lunge. So the side of the right, the right side of your torso contacts your thigh. Onto your fingertips, gently slide the shoulder blades down the back as you gaze up. And with your next inhalation, let's step forward. Ardha Uttanasana, long spine, straight legs. And let's fold in and let go, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, Octopus, chair pose. Pulling in opposite directions, fingertips pulled in one direction, hips in the other direction, length along your spine. Bringing the weight back into your heels. Let's press up to stand. Exhale, hands at your heart, returning home sweet home. Inhale, Uttanasana, chair pose, returning to powerful pose. Bring the hands through the middle, let's fold. Feel free to bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. And let's take the left leg back to the lunge. Step back to plank pose or high push-up position. And with your exhalation, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, whichever is available today. And roll onto the toes, downward facing dog. Keeping the fingers spread. Pulling the thigh bones back. So let's ground the right foot at the 60-degree angle or thereabouts and bring the left foot through, checking in that your hips are square to the short end of the mat. If not, adjust your back leg. Ground into your feet. Let's rise into Warrior One. Left knee bent. With your breath deepening in the static standing poses, you hear the oceanic sound of your breath. That's a good thing, keeping the breath flowing with control. Let's spin and ground the back foot, the right foot, perhaps walking it out so you can take a wider stance. Left knee bent. Arms wide, Warrior Two. Courageous, wholehearted in this warrior pose. Stay grounded through the back foot. So let's straighten the left leg. Reach through your left arm with your inhalation. Exhale, taking right hand to the sky for triangle pose. Be aware of line from tailbone to crown. Spin opening the chest, the arms in line, perhaps looking up for your drishti, or perhaps looking down for your drishti. Single-minded focus, dharana, one of the 8 limbs of yoga. Let's circle the right hand down, spin onto your back toes and lower the right knee for our low lunge. The side of the torso, the left side, contacting the thigh. Stay onto your fingertips, slide the shoulder blades down the back as you gaze up, offering your heart to the sky. And let's step forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, drawing your heart forward. Exhale, folding in, releasing. Bend the knees, Uttanasana, chair pose, powerful pose. And let's press up to stand. Exhale, lowering your hands to your heart. Let's open our hands out at our heart in Hasta Mudra for a moment. Closing down the eyes, reconnecting with our breath, checking in with what's happening in our body. Sending out gratitude and love to the people in your life that support you. Gently open the eyes and relax the arms. Let's step one leg back, keeping our hips square to the short end of the mat. So that back foot at about a 60-degree angle. Parsvottanasana, which is intense side stretch or pyramid pose. Let's take the hands behind. Either hold on to opposite elbows or bring the hands together into reverse prayer between your shoulder blades, pressing the palms together, which is great for the wrists when your body is ready. So ground into your feet, lift out from your hips, inhale, opening your heart to the sky. And with your exhalation, let's bow over the straight leg, over the front leg, bringing the chin in at the end. This pose requires some balance, staying present in your body, in your breath. This pose reminds me to honor my authentic self, my true essence beneath any labels that have been applied to me. I invite you to also consider this. Remaining true and authentic in your yoga practice. We can take that off our mat as well. Grounding into the feet, let's rise back up consciously, releasing the hands, and let's take the arms up. So we're going to transfer the weight forward for Warrior 3. It's a balance pose. Take your time, lifting the back leg off the mat, bringing the body forward. You can take your arms out to the side to help you balance. So the hip of the raised leg, roll it down to square off your hips. And let's gently touch down and lower the arms by your side. Let's turn on our feet, so keeping the feet where they are, but just turning to the other side. So the hips square to the other end of your mat, making some adjustments if you need to. Let's start with Parsvottanasana. Taking the hands behind, hold on to opposite elbows or wrists. I didn't give that option before, but if that's more comfortable, feel free to do that. Always finding your comfort in the pose, or bringing the hands together into reverse prayer, pressing the palms together. Press into your feet. Inhale, lift out from your hips, opening your heart to the sky. Exhale, long spine, bringing your chin in at the end. Staying present and grounded through your feet. enjoying the breath, full and even, the conduit in which prana flows into the body, life force energy. There are two extremes. One is laziness and apathy. The other end, or the other extreme, is rigidity and strain. In our yoga practice, we want to find a balance between those two extremes. Effortless effort. So grounding into your feet, let's rise back up. Releasing the hands from behind. So let's take the arms up by the ears. Warrior 3, so shifting the weight forward, lifting the back leg off the mat, and as we were before, I'll just need to step back. The body makes its way to parallel to the floor. The hip of the raised leg rolled down. Pulling in opposite directions. Feel free to take your arms out to the side. And lowering the back leg with awareness and lowering the arms by your side. So let's turn to the front. Walking your feet out a bit wider. The outside edge of your feet parallel to each other. So turning your heels out a little if you're naturally splayed. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift up from your hips and open your heart to the sky. Exhale, gently pull the belly back as we fold forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walking the hands back, relaxing your body. Perhaps gently shaking and nodding your head. Inhale, walk your hands back out, splaying the feet this time, pulling the heels in. And let's do the side to side pose. So inhaling through the center and exhale, bending the knee in the direction of the toes. Not letting the knee go past the toes to protect your knee joint. If you need to, take a wider stance. And if you'd like to go into a deeper squat, come onto the heel of the opposite foot and taking your arms out, keeping your spine long. Both variations have wonderful benefits, so choosing the one where you can maintain steadiness and ease in your body. So let's do one more to each side, finishing on the side opposite to the one we started on. And walking the heels, the feet in. Makarasana, Garland Pose. Great hip opener. So the elbows to the inside of the knees, long spine, allowing the hips to drop. While we're here, if you would like to do an arm balance, Sukhasana, take your hands out. Bring the knees up into the armpits, onto your toes, transfer the weight forward. And lift the feet off the mat, bringing the big toes together. Great for building upper body strength and strengthening your wrists. Gently come out and let's come forward into Child's Pose. Sinking the weight back to the heels, folding the body forward over your thighs. Rest your arms by your side with your palms turned open. Reconnecting with your breath. And let's rise up onto our knees for Ustrasana, Camel Pose. Your knees under your hips. Let's take our hands to our lower back. So just checking in with the back, feel free to keep your hands here for the pose for a variation, a gentle option. Or if it feels okay for you, you can drop your hands to the heels. So let's start to press the hips forward, scooping the tailbone under. Heart space opens to the sky. If it's okay for you, lowering one hand at a time, adjusting along the way. Pressing the hips forward, scooping the tailbone under. Check in with your neck. If it's okay, release the head back. Beautiful back bend. Let's gently come out. Always conserving energy to come out with control. Bring your weight back to your heels and fold forward again into child's pose with your arms by your side, palms turned open. So noticing the effects of Ustrasana, Camel Pose. So I invite you to do Shashankasana, which is Hare Pose. If you have any problems with your neck, then it's not recommended, but it is quite a gentle inversion. So we'll roll onto the crown of the head, lifting the hips off the mat, the arms slide forward. So looking at the world upside down for a few breaths. Notice that point of contact with the earth, the crown chakra contacting the mat, stimulating the glands of the brain, pineal and pituitary glands. It's the chakra, the emotional energy center that teaches us that the present moment is all there is. Chakra where we discover our dharma, our life purpose, and find that relationship with the divine. We find peace in our relationship with the divine. So let's roll back onto our forehead, connecting the third eye, and gently lifting back up. Let's come down onto our back now. Enjoy the support of the floor. Let's do a spinal twist to wind down, bending the knees and have the feet a little bit wider than hip width, perhaps touching the outside, perhaps touching the edges of the mat, and taking the arms out to the side. With your exhalation, let the legs fall to the left as you gently turn your head to the right, so staying spacious across your upper back, both shoulder blades contacting the mat. Feel free to close down your eyes, just letting the body completely relax in this pose. Using the power of the exhalation to soften and let go. Let's bring the legs and head to center. With your next exhalation, let the knees fall to the other side, the head turned to the left, so the opposite direction to the knees. Soften your whole body in this pose. Check that your neck is relaxed, shoulders softened, belly open, no holding, practicing low abdominal breathing naturally without strain. Letting the weight of the knees pull the legs down with gravity. And let's lift the legs back up. Hugging the knees into your chest, gently rock from side to side. Lengthen out your legs, the arms relaxed by your side with palms turned open in Shavasana. Close down your eyes. Find contentment in the pose you're in. All is well. Everything is as it should be. You are in the perfect place at the perfect time. Learning all the lessons your soul needs to learn. Switch off the thinking mind. Switch on the knowing mind. Let yourself drop into a space of being. No requirement to do in this pose, just be. Without poses like this, our yoga asana practice could be termed something different, like gymnastics or calisthenics. But yoga is holistic. It gives that time for the mind, body, spirit to connect. And poses such as these are a vital component of the yoga practice. So stay here a little longer if you like, or gently awaken your body. Take 2 deeper breaths, filling the lungs and emptying them in their own time. Wiggle fingers and toes, gently roll the head from one side to the other. Bring the knees into the chest, gently rock from side to side. Roll onto the right side, pausing for a moment. And when you're ready, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands to your heart, giving yourself thanks for this time, just for yourself. Positive thing for your body, your mind, your soul. Peace begins within our own heart. Bowing the head to your heart. Namaste.